Hello everyone, today we're going to be going over how to shine your shoes. There are a few essential ingredients you're going to need first. First of all, of course, you're going to need your Cipher or your just anything, any shoe polish. I like to use Cipher because it makes the mirror shine very quick, very easy to do compared to other brands. Kiwi, it's going to take a bit longer than Cipher, just so you know. So if you're using Kiwi, it's probably going to take a bit longer. I know they have a parade gloss that you can use. I would highly recommend you use that. But for now, I'm just going to be using Cipher. There's two types of shine. I use the mirror shine and the regular shine. The mirror shine is made out of hard wax. If you put it on any of the creases, like here, if you put it there, it's going to make a white dust once you use it, because it's going to be cracking a lot. Whereas compared to the regular shine, where this is where you would use it on the creases, it allows you to not get these dirty white lines on the shoes at all when you're using them. And the next essential ingredient, you're going to need some rubbing alcohol and water in a 9:10 ratio. So right here I have that. Use 70% isopropyl alcohol. You can pick it up really at any place, local pharmacy. The alcohol allows you it allows you to melt basically the wax into the shoe more thoroughly. That's why we use it here. So if you use too much of it, it's just going to wipe it right off. You don't want to do that. You want to make sure it's in the correct ratio. So to start off, you're going to want to open your shoe shine. And you're going to want to clean off your shoe. If there's any dust or anything on here, make sure you clean it off right like that. You might want to rub it off with a cloth. So this is another thing you're going to need. You're going to need a cloth. I got this straight from a white t-shirt. You just cut off the top of the sleeve. That's going to allow you to basically have this nice little handkerchief, or whatever you like to call it. You can just wrap it around 2 fingers. That's what I use. And you can wrap it around the rest of your hand to give you a secure grip. So with that, you're just going to want to get all the dust off, get anything that can really deter you from getting a nice mirror shine on your shoe off. Like that. Okay. And then you're gonna want to go in with a single coat of just some of that solution I mentioned before, the isopropyl alcohol and water. Make sure you do that once just to get it clean, just get the surface clean. And this is very important here. You don't want the cloth to be too wet, or else you could get dry spots later on in your shoe, which are basically, it doesn't look very nice. There's basically little dots around the foot of the shoe, so you don't want that. Make sure it's not too wet. It shouldn't be soaking wet. It should just be lightly damp. So you're going to want to do that. Clean the entire shoe. Once you're done with that, you begin shining. So here my shoes are already somewhat mirror shined, so I'm really just going to be doing this for demonstration purposes. You're going to want to get some mirror shine on. You don't want to get a lot, so you want to lightly put it on like you're rubbing eggshell basically. You don't want to do it too firmly, or else you could break the wax. You could ruin the polish, the shine. Just want to do it lightly. Now, if this is your first time shining your shoes, it's obviously you're gonna need to use more wax than less, because you need to get that first coat on. So you get the first coat on, and then you just stop there. You let it sit and rest for a bit, because it needs to dry. So once you get a good first coating, you really want to build the base for your mirror shine. So you want to get a good coating on the shoe. You're just going to let it sit there for a minute. Alright, now you're going to go to the other shoe, do it on that shoe too. Get a good coating on there. Okay, once you're done with that, you could start buffing the polish in. Then you can start to use a little bit of water. Don't use a lot. As I said, you want it to be lightly damp. You don't want it to be soaking wet. So just lightly damp, and use that on the tip of your shoe. Just go back and forth, circle-like motions around the shoe. So for the mirror shine, you only want to use it on the toe cap and other areas where you don't really have creases. Another effective tactic here you can use is just shimmying it across the surface, your cloth that you're using, as such, and do that a couple times. And that'll do your polishing for you basically a lot faster. So I did that a few times. I'm gonna do another coat now. Get some polish on the shoe. Now this time, you don't really need to wait. Some people say you do, but I just find it kind of useless. You want to really buff the polish in. And then once you're done with that, you're going to want to use some water. Just a bit. Some water is basically like, let it sit, let it cool, set it in place. So keep in mind that when you're just starting out, you're probably going to need to do this at least like 3-4 times just to get that good coating of polish on the tip of the shoe. Now for this section right here, this is where you have the creases, right? So you're going to need to use a lighter polish that doesn't have as much wax. So if you're using kiwi, it's just the regular kiwi polish, whereas this would just be the parade gloss if they sell it. So the regular polish is obviously, it's going to be less hard, so that when you walk, it's not gonna basically break and crack. But it's also going to result in less of a shine. But you can also fix that by, spending more time on this part and shining it more thoroughly. It's not going to be as easy to shine to that mirror shine as the hard wax. Now if you're doing this the first time, it's the same thing with the mirror gloss. You have to let it sit for like 5 minutes, 10 minutes maybe, depending on how long it takes for it to dry. And then once that's done, you could use water or add more polish on and just keep buffing it out. You do that in layers. But here, of course, I've already gotten a bit of a shine on, so I don't even really worry about that. I'm just gonna keep adding some polish. And then once I think I have enough, I'll add some water onto it. You can also do the shimmy technique before, like this. You're going to want to add more water again. If it's a new shoe, once you've done enough coats on the creases too, don't be afraid to add like a single coat of mirror gloss. It's not a lot, just a bit. It'll let you perfect that shine kind of. because if you build up the hard polish on this section of the shoe, it will crack and you will get that white dust. It's a good thing. You also, if you want to get rid of some water, just rub it on your countertop, something like that. Now I'd say that's good. If you want, you can go a bit further if you want, but I'd say that's good for now. The next part of the shoe we'll be doing is up here by the laces. So for here, you want to always start off with the regular polish, not your mirror polish, because if you do that, then it's going to crack. For some people, you get a lot of creases here. For some people, you don't. I start off with the regular polish, then you use the mirror polish to get a good shine on the sides here. So if you were starting your first time, you might want to add this once, the regular polish, then add the mirror polish twice. You could choose to take your laces off for this part. I don't really find that necessary. And then you'll just do the same thing you did to this side to the other side. Now for the sides of the shoe, around here, you're going to want to start off, you're just really going to be using the regular polish, not the mirror polish on these sides. Once you're done with using this, once you're done with building up the base on the sides with the regular polish, then you could do like 1 or 2 coats of mirror polish, depending on how many coats of regular polish you use. Once again, you don't want that cracking finding itself on the side of the shoe. And then at the end, you just use that single coating of mirror shine to really buff it out and give it that nice shine. After you're done with buffing out polish, you always want to make sure that you're going back with some water and just buffing it out with some water before you end and you go on to another part of the shoe. That just makes sure the polish is just set. It's not gonna be as easy to scratch off if you bump into something or scuff. Then with this side, you just do the same thing on the other side. Make sure you get around all the parts of the shoe. For the heel of the shoe, you can just use mirror shine because it's not really going to be moving that much. If you have any smudges or anything, you can use this time to basically just remove them. Alright, so you can see, get a nice shine on, build up your layers, make sure you don't use a lot of water, and finish with a wet buff every time you polish.